Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 2 in this new series, How to Read and Write Music Notation. And today we're going to be talking about rhythms. If you're new here, click that like button and subscribe. And yeah, let's get straight into this. Okay, so in the last episode, we spoke about what these lines mean on the stave, the lines and spaces, and they indicate the pitch of the notes. And with rhythms, we want to indicate how long to hold those notes down. This line here is indicating a bar line. So each of these is a bar line, and these sections in between the bar lines are called bars or measures if you're American. There's a bit of a difference between the American terminology and the British terminology. I'm British, so in Britain we say bars, whereas in America they'll say measures. But they both basically mean the same thing. Right, so we're going to focus on this first bar for now. And you can see we're in 4/4 time signature. This basically means that there's 4 beats in every bar. So this bar, try and imagine it split into 4 sections. So each bar's going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So the first note that I'm going to put in, I'm going to put them all on the same pitch for this. So I'll just use the F note here. So this rhythm is called a semibreve in British, and it's called a whole note in America. And this basically means that you hold this note down for the entire length of this bar. It means that you hold it for 4 beats. So in a 4/4 time signature, you would hold this for the entire bar. The second note we're going to talk about is, I'm going to put the thing up here, minim in British, and it's called a half note in American. And this is held for 2 beats. So in this bar, you would hold it for 1, 2, and then you'd cut it off. So the other 2 beats of the bar, nothing is played. So the next one is called a crotchet in British, and it's called a quarter note in American. And this is the length of 1 beat. So you can fit 4 of these in this bar. And the last one that we're going to talk about in this video is the quaver, or the 8th note in American. And this is basically 8 notes of the bar. So you can see all of these rhythms are halving. So this is 4 beats, this is 2 beats, this is 1 beat, so this is half a beat. So which means you can fit 8 of these in this bar. Quavers are often grouped together. In a 4/4 time signature, you would group it into 2 sections. And we'll probably talk about this a lot more in the future when it comes up, because it's a little bit more advanced than what we're talking about right now. But basically, you would group these quavers, or 8th notes, together in 4s. Or sometimes, I'll show you an example as well. Sometimes you can have it maybe 2 beats here, and then 1 beat there, and then 2 there. See, we don't need it grouped into 4 there because we don't want 4 notes, so we group this into just the 2 notes that we need. You can also have it you could also do something like that, so that you can have the singular quaver note, or the 8th note, on its own. So if you only need 1, you would write it like this. If you need 2, you would write it like this. If you add a dot to the end of a note, then it basically means that you hold that note down for half the length of the note extra. It's a little bit confusing, this, so you can see here we've got the minim note, half a note, so this is 2 beats, and the dot means that it's half of that 2 beats, so an extra beat. So the dot is 1 beat in this situation, and this is 2 beats. So I would hold this note down for 3 beats. So this is held down for 1.5 beats, because this is half of this note. So 1.5 beats. And again with the quaver, or 8th note. So this would be held down for 3/4 of a beat. So this indicates half a beat, so that's 1/4 of a beat, so 3/4 of a beat. And this brings us on to something else now. What are these notes here, these little squiggles? These are called rests. And when you have nothing being played, you also have to indicate the length of time that that isn't being played for. So in this situation, we've always got 4 beats in this bar, but this note is only playing for 3 beats. So we have to indicate that there's nothing being played for 1 beat. So let's talk about the rests now. Right, the first rest that we're going to be talking about is the semi-brief rest, or the whole note rest, which is this one right here. And when you have nothing in a bar, this equals 4 beats, by the way. So if you have nothing in a bar, you would put this rest on, and that means that you don't play anything for 4 beats. Now let's go to a minim rest. So this is basically the upside down version of the semi-brief rest. This is indicating that you hold this rest down for 2 beats. So nothing's being played for 2 beats. And then you've got the crotchet rest, or the quarter note rest. And this is indicating that nothing's being played for 1 beat. So in this, it would be 1, 1, 1, 1, nothing being played. And then you've got the quaver rest. And these are the same length of time as the notes. So you can fit 8 quaver rests in a bar. You can fit 4 crotchet rests in a bar. You can fit 2 minim rests in a bar. You can fit 1 semi-brief rest in a bar. So when you see a note, that means that you play the notes for that length of time. When you see a rest, you don't play for that amount of time. I'm going to just write out a little bit of music, and you should be able to see the notes, the rhythms, the rests, and you should be able to see what they mean now. Okay, so what does this mean? So here we have an F note that's being held for 2 beats. So do. If you think about the tapping, this is the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this first note would be 2 beats. So 1, and that was 2 beats. And then you've got nothing. Then you've got C and then an A, which are quite fast. So these are like half of a beat each. So let's play this bar. I'll put the click on as well so that you can hear this, what this sounds like. You see that? You're seeing the 4 beats of the bar, and you're seeing how long that these are being held on for, or not held on for, in case of the rest. Let's try another bar. Let's go. So here we have G, A, B, D, and then a C for 2 beats. So each of these is half a beat, so do, 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 and then a C for 2 beats. So basically the stave is indicating the pitch of the notes, and this direction is indicating the length of time. Let's try another bar with some rests in. So let's go for, let's say, a crotchet rest. Let's go for a crotchet note. Let's put a little dot on one of these as well. And let's go with an F there. So what does this sound like? Now we've got a beat of nothing being played, and then we've got a whole beat of an E being played, and then we've got a beat and a half of an A, and then we've got half a beat of an F. So that sounds like this. So let's play all of this now. I'm going to talk a little bit about the other notes that we've not used in this. So we had a quaver note which indicated half a beat, and you could fit 8 of these. These are called eighth notes in American. You can fit 8 of these in a bar of 4/4 music. So you can also half this again. So this is called a semi-quaver or a 16th note. And that looks like this. You can fit 16 of these in a bar. And these are very fast notes. And you can also even half that again, so you have 32 notes. I'm not going to put all of these in, but they basically look quite ridiculous. You can see you can fit 32 of these in a bar, and it looks a bit silly. But these are all notes that are used in all types of music, from pop to orchestra. You'll find all of this notation. So it's all important stuff that we need to know. So now I'm going to do a little exercise for you. Like, if you want to try and do this for yourself, then I'm going to write something out, and you can have a go at filling in the gaps and tell me how long notes would have to be played for in order to fill the bar or measure. Okay, so I've written out a little exercise for you, and basically there's one note missing, either a note or one rest. So only use one note or one rest to fill in each of these missing spaces. So wherever you see an asterisk, there's something missing. So remember, you can only put one note or one rest in each of these places. And remember, each bar has to add up to 4 beats. So that is your little exercise. Can you fill in this? Remember, you're only putting one note or one rest in each time. You can't put multiple notes in. So if you want to pause the video and do that, and then I'll tell you the answers. Okay, so here's the answers. So in bar 1, remember, each bar has to add up to 4 beats. So this note is a minim or a half note, which equals 2 beats. And this one is equaling 1 beat. So we've got 2 plus 1 is 3. So we're missing 1 beat here. So you could either fill this in with a crotchet like that, or you could fill it in with a crotchet rest. So if you did that, then that's some little points for you there. And let's move on to the second bar. So each of these notes, these quaver notes, are equaling half a beat. So we need to equal 4 beats. So half a beat plus another half a beat is 1 beat. So these 2 notes equal 1 beat. This one equals another beat. So again, we've got 2 beats. So we need a note or a rest that equals 2 beats. So then we go to the minim. So the minim note, or the half note in American, is 2 beats long. So you could either use the minim note or the minim rest. So either of those are correct. Let's move on to the third bar. Look at this, there's nothing in this bar. So we need to make it fill 4 beats. So what note fills 4 beats? That would be the semibreve, or the whole note in American. So in this bar, you can either fill it in with the semibreve rest, which is this one, which is basically saying you don't play anything for 4 beats, or you could fill it in with the semibreve note. And then let's move on to the last one. So this is the last bar. Let's have a look what we've got. We've got half a beat, we've got 1 beat, we've got another 1 beat, so 1, 2 and a half. And we've got 2 half notes, so half a beat, 1 and a half, 2 and a half, 3, 3 and a half. So we need half a beat. You could fill this in with a quaver note or in eighth notes if you're American, like so. Or you could fill this in with a quaver rest or an eighth note rest, like that. So if you manage to do all of these, then I'd say you're doing pretty well at the moment. So that is rhythms. Remember about the dotted rhythm. So the dotted rhythm comes in quite a lot, and we've not really covered it much on this. So like if you add a dot to any note, it basically means that you add half the length of time that note is held on for. So if you have a minim, that's 2 beats. The dot would mean 1 beat. So that note equals 3 beats. So the dot equals half the length of time that the note equals. I'm just in the middle of editing this video, and I thought I would just put a little extra bit at the end, just showing you some actual orchestral sheet music, and you should be able to start seeing things that you recognise now. Like if we look at this, like we can see that what these notes mean. We can see a crotchet, we can see a crotchet rest, we can see a quaver, we can see quaver notes, quaver rests, and we can even work out how many beats are in these bars. Like obviously this is a bit more advanced, so I'm not expecting you to understand everything that you can see here. We've not covered it yet, but you should be able to see something that you recognise. Like you understand that these are pitches, you understand that this is the length of time, you understand the note length and the rhythms and stuff. Let's have a look at another one. So you can see the bar lines, you can see grouping. Like all of this section, this is obviously the woodwind section, so it's grouped together. We can see a dotted minim here. We can see dotted quavers and a semi-quaver, which was the 32 note. We can even work out like the rhythm of this now. We can see that this is a quaver, quaver rest, quaver, quaver rest, quaver, quaver rest, quaver, quaver rest. So that's just short notes on every beat. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be bum, 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 bum. But there's a little rest between those notes. And just having a look at this last one, there's something vaguely familiar about this. Even though you're looking at it and probably thinking, I don't understand any of this at the moment, you should be able to see something that you recognise, which is good. That means that we're getting somewhere. I'm hoping to actually cover a lot of things like this in the future, so hopefully this series will pick up and we'll get to more advanced things like this. Like look at these like FF, these little random marks here. Like what does all this mean? We've got a little triangle above this note. We've got notes that are joined together with lines. Like this is stuff that we're going to cover in the future. So if you're new here and you've liked this video and it's helped in some way, then click that like button and subscribe for more of these videos, and we'll get into more of this in the future. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.